Marcy Winograd, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Air America Radio.
Thank you, Nicole. It's terrific to be with you and with your listeners. I'm really looking forward to this time together.
Well, good. Me too. Now, the reason we're doing this tonight, actually, or in this time frame, is because the Blue America PAC, who first endorsed you back in 2006, is once again endorsing you. They're making you their first official endorsement of the 2010 election cycle, and they're going to officially announce that on Saturday. But I guess because we were going to do this tonight, they already put you up on the page at actblue.com/page/blueamerica10, and actually I've got a link to it from my blog at radioornot.com, so people can find it and hopefully donate some money to get to get your coffers nice and full these days.
That would be terrific. Yes, Nicole, I'm very honored to have the Blue America endorsement. I think it's a real boost for my campaign. Jane Harman is one of the richest members of Congress, net worth estimated between $200 and $400 million.
Wow.
And that's after having lost $100 million in the economic meltdown. So
Wait, that's her personal fortune?
That's her personal fortune, her portfolio.
How did she make that much money?
With investments in lots of war profiteers and big pharmaceutical companies. And I think that if you're listening and you want to give $10, $25, by all means do that, because this is the people's campaign. It is a ground campaign. It's a campaign to really win the hearts and minds of the people of this district, as opposed to the corporations and the big moneyed interests on Wall Street.
Right. Now, one of the reason why I wanted to speak with you, and you saw the initial email that I sent to Howie Klein to get your contact information, was because I read that Lynn Woolsey, who's the co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, was going to be endorsing and headlining a fundraiser for Jane Harman, and I nearly hit the roof. Because I made a vow that this year I was going to do whatever I could to get behind truly progressive candidates, because that's the biggest problem. It's not the fact that we didn't have enough Democrats in Congress this year. It's the fact that we don't have enough progressives, because we have Democrats who are not really, I don't consider them Democrats, but they're certainly not progressive.
My opponent once described herself as the best Republican in the Democratic Party, so I think that says it all. I agree with you, Nicole. We need to elect a progressive majority to Congress. It's not good enough to have just another Democrat in a seat if we don't see radical change in terms of our policies on the foreign affairs front and domestically. I mean, enough of the bank bailouts, enough of these subprime loans, and then us turning our backs on those who are the victims of this predatory lending. Mm-hmm. Enough of the multiple wars. How many countries are we in now? Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Pakistan, secret CIA drone attacks. My point is this. Whether it's Jane Harman or somebody else, it's not good enough to have just any old Democrat. We need people in Congress who are going to lead the Progressive Caucus, and I mean really lead the Progressive Caucus. I am sorry that Lynn Woolsey has chosen to pitch for Jane Harman. I am not surprised. It sounds like, it's a matter of paying back for political favors. Mm-hmm. I know that Lynn Woolsey was under attack a few years ago when she was running in her district, and a more conservative Democrat was challenging her. I believe Jane Harman swooped in and helped her out, and so now she feels she owes her something. All that may be true, but what really matters is what's going to happen for the people in the 36th district, who is going to really represent them. And I think people tend to be able to see through that. I am very proud of the fact that the Progressive Caucus and the California Democratic Party, all the officers of that caucus, signed on to a letter to Lynn Woolsey, which I believe they sent today, chastising her.
Yes,
really,
I
for
signed
turning
it too.
Her back
A
on
lot
them.
of people, not only did they sign it, but a lot of, I'm sure, citizens signed it as well. And it was just an odd thing to see. Now, Marcy Winograd, the website, by the way, is winograd4congress.com. That's the number 4, Winograd, WINOGRAD, 4congress.com. And I have a link to that as well from my blog at radioornot.com. But I want to find out a little bit about your background. Now, I know you ran once before in 2006 after having, you're a founder of the LA chapter of Progressive Democrats of America, and you decided to run back in 2006?
That's right. I was watching Meet the Press one Sunday morning. I wasn't planning on running, Nicole. I was watching the television show, and there Jane Harman was, and she said that she was thoroughly disgusted with the fact, or something to that effect, that the New York Times had actually published the story about the Bush administration's illegal wiretaps. And she went on the offensive against the New York Times, which actually had held that story for a year. Now we've learned why, because she lobbied them on the eve of Bush's reelection to suppress that story.
Wow.
When I heard this, I felt compelled to challenge her and to challenge complicity in the Bush administration's crimes. So I jumped into that race just 3 months before the election. Nonetheless, I was able to mobilize through a very vibrant grassroots campaign, almost 40% of the primary vote. So I'm back. Winograd is back, and the message is, again, jobs, not wars.
Now, you're basing your campaign on a Green New Deal. What does that mean?
What that means is that we need a massive stimulus program. What are we looking at? We're looking at unprecedented levels since the Great Depression of unemployment. You know, in parts of California, in the central area of our state, unemployment is almost at depression levels. If you count those who have given up looking for work and are just feeling full of despair, despondent about their situation. Every day, I have people calling me up, literally asking me for jobs on my campaign. Friends, I feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like to raise money and hire all of them. But what I'm talking about is a serious commitment to put America back to work by doing what we did during the Great Depression, which was funding a Works Progress Administration, a New Deal, so that we are funneling money into both the public sector and the private sector to hire workers to work in the new green economy, to build rapid transit that we desperately need, to develop renewable energy sources, the sun, the wind, those riches that are natural forces and are going to be with us for very long, a very long time, and to also fix what's falling apart, fix our bridges, fix our ports. There is plenty of work to do. So I say let's invest in the public sector and the private sector, but do so with a serious commitment to putting America back to work. We did it then, we can do it now.
Yeah, no, you're right. And something, and watching all the coverage of what's happening in Haiti right now, I saw a piece tonight that the power is off, and the few lights that they find on are only working because they are solar powered.
Wow. Well, you know what's very interesting, Nicole? I was reading Common Dreams tonight, and there's an excellent article. I would urge everybody to go there and read this article about the history of Haiti, and more importantly, the history of U.S. involvement in Haiti. It's no accident that so many people have been killed in Haiti. The history of that country is the history of U.S. bankers bleeding their treasury, diverting their investments back to the United States, the installment of puppet governments, corrupt governments that steal money from the people. So the fact that Haiti is so poor today is no accident.
Yep. No, you're right. And it's so sad. Marcy Winograd is with us. She is running a primary campaign against Blue Dog Jane Harman in the state of California. Jane Harman's got a lot of money behind her, and we need to help get Marcy Winograd's bank account up there as well. Blue America PAC is endorsing her. Officially, they're going to do it this Saturday. I've got a link on my blog at radioornot.com to the page where you can make a donation because we need more progressives in Congress. Your thoughts on the health care bill as it stands now?
As it stands now, I would have a hard time voting for this bill. I know that there are good things in the bill in terms of giving people who are really struggling and have absolutely no resources, giving them some opportunity, access to health care. But overall, I have to say, Nicole, that the whole idea of mandating that Americans buy private insurance, I find that anathema, particularly in light of the fact that the insurance industry, the health insurance industry, has a miserable record of service. The record of the health insurance industry is the history of denial of claims. 25% of claims are constantly being denied. Now, I know that this, whether it's the House bill or the Senate bill, both say that health insurance companies will no longer be able to routinely deny claims. But I know that if the health insurance industry is allowed to literally raid the Treasury with this bill, that it won't be long before they whittle away at some of the provisions that are supposed to protect us in this bill. So I guess my problem is that fundamentally I just think it's giving the health insurance industry a stranglehold, the key to our Treasury, when in fact what we want is something completely different. I believe in single-payer health care. Mm-hmm. I believe that health insurance companies provide zero health care. We don't need them. They're peripheral. 30 cents of every dollar that we pay them goes for paperwork as opposed to 3 to 5 cents under Medicare. So I say certainly let's be sure to give states the right to enact single-payer health care, to enact something much better than what's on the table right now.